You know, most DC suburbs feel like they were built yesterday, but there's one spot where George Washington literally sent his crops to market. And that market, it's still operating in the exact same spot 270 years later. I'm talking about Alexandria, Virginia, where cobblestone streets tell stories that most people have never heard. But here's what shocked me most about this place. The real value opportunities aren't where you think they are. And when you see why buyers are lining up for this city, even with the price tags, you'll start to get it. Okay, so look, prices are high, listings move fast, and everyone wants a piece of Alexandria. It sounds wild, but once you see what this city offers, it all starts to make sense. Homes here go for over $600,000 and buyers are still jumping in. One big reason, Alexandria sits just 7 miles south of DC. It's home to around 155,000 people with a median household income of about $113,000. That's nearly 45% higher than the national average. And with 70% of residents holding a college degree or more, you're looking at a well-educated, successful crowd. But there's more to the story than just numbers. Alexandria was founded in 1749, almost 50 years before Washington, D.C. even existed. Let that sink in. Most suburbs today are still trying to build an identity, but Alexandria, it's got 275 years of real history mixed with modern life. You can literally walk the same streets George Washington once did, then hop on the metro to your office downtown. And those streets, they're just the beginning. When we look at Delray later, you'll see how this rich history creates a completely different feel and at prices that might surprise you. This mix of old and new is what draws professionals from all over the world. The city has strict rules to protect its history while also planning smart updates for growth and better infrastructure. Location also plays a huge role. Alexandria sits right between downtown DC and the booming Northern Virginia corridor. You've got easy access to both Dulles and Reagan airports, plus direct metro lines across the region. That kind of connection is a big win for both travelers and daily commuters. The economy here is solid. Big employers in government, healthcare, tech, and professional services all have a strong presence. That mix of industries creates job stability, which helps keep the housing market strong. Even during tough economic times, Alexandria's close ties to federal jobs provide a safety net that other suburbs don't have. Now, here's the thing. Alexandria's strong economy and job market open up some pretty great chances if you know where to look. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I track how these shifts are affecting neighborhoods and prices every single week. You'll see what areas are heating up and where smart buyers are heading next. And it's not just the numbers that make this place special. What really sets Alexandria apart from other DC suburbs is its vibe. Reston and Herndon feel more like typical suburbs. Alexandria feels like a true city with a small town heart. The historic homes, tree-lined streets, and walkable neighborhoods give it a blend of charm and class that's really hard to find. Now, a lot of people think Alexandria is just Old Town, but that's like thinking Manhattan is just Times Square. Let's dive into what makes Old Town stand out, and then we'll explore the neighborhoods where the real opportunities are hiding. Okay, let's talk about what makes Old Town Alexandria the most expensive and most loved neighborhood in the entire city. I'm going to walk you through this historic area where the past and present live side by side. Old Town has cobblestone streets that feel like a step back in time. The old local tales say those stones came from ships that sailed from England. They were dropped off here as ballast and later placed by captured soldiers. True or not, these streets are old. Old Town is the third oldest historic district in the country, and Captain's Row on Prince Street has the oldest cobblestone block in all of Alexandria. As you walk down King Street, you'll see over 200 local shops and restaurants. These aren't big chain stores, they're small businesses that give this area its charm. Bishop Boutique sells high-end women's clothing and offers one-on-one styling. Shop Made in VA only sells goods made by local artists. When it's time to eat, you've got spots like Vermilion, which serves fresh local food, or the Light Horse, where you get great American meals inside of a historic building. These places get even better when you factor in the waterfront, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. Just picture eating at one of these places while watching boats move across the Potomac River. Beats looking at a strip mall parking lot. The Torpedo Factory Art Center gives the area even more character. It used to be a World War II munitions factory. Now it holds 82 studios where you can meet artists, watch them work, and even buy their pieces. It's a real cultural spot that adds to Old Town's upscale feel. But here's what you need to know about the housing market in Old Town. As of June 2025, the median list price is $1.4 million. Homes sell in under 30 days. That's fast, especially when you compare it to the national average of 50 days at the moment. The reason? There aren't many homes for sale and people always want to live here. Buyers here are paying for the full package: location, history, and lifestyle. You're close to the waterfront, you've got metro access, and your steps from great places to eat and shop. There's a mix of colonial townhouses and modern condos, but they all follow rules that keep this historic look. The sense of community here is super strong as well. People join farmers markets, historic home tours, and waterfront events all year long. There's real pride in living in a place with so much history. A place like this connects you to something much deeper. This is American history, right outside your front door. Now, Old Town is the high end of Alexandria, but if you want that same Alexandria feel without paying Old Town prices, don't worry, other neighborhoods give you great value. But before we get into those, you need to understand Alexandria's secret edge, something that most DC suburbs just can't offer. Living near the Potomac adds something extra to daily life here. From morning trail walks to dinner by the water, the river shapes the pace of the city in a way that's hard to find anywhere else. Alexandria has 18 miles of trails right along one of America's most famous rivers. The Mount Vernon Trail runs from George Washington's old home all the way into downtown DC. You can walk, jog, or even bike to work in about 30 minutes using this scenic path. This kind of direct access to the river sets Alexandria completely apart. Inland suburbs can't offer anything like it. Waterfront Park gives you walking trails, places to fish, and amazing views. At Jones Point Park, you'll find fishing spots and a place to launch kayaks and canoes. Little by little, things like this start to shape your routine. You end up spending more time outside, and life here starts to feel more relaxed and more connected. This waterfront lifestyle is also a big reason why home prices here, they stay strong. And when we talk about transportation in a bit, you'll see how having both the river access and nearby metro stations creates serious value that buyers are willing to pay for. The Robinson Landing development shows how Alexandria blends river views with modern living. It has luxury condos and townhomes that sit right by the water. On top of that, the city is making flood protection upgrades to protect homes and raise property values. When you live near the water, your routine changes in a good way. Morning walks by the river become part of your day. Weekends might include biking, fishing, or kayaking, and you can eat at restaurants that look out over the river instead of a parking lot in a strip mall. The Potomac connects Alexandria to the rest of the region too. You can take a water taxi to DC when it's running, and the river gives the city a natural edge that protects its character while offering even more to do. That balance of health keeps property values steady over time. Even if your home isn't right on the water, you still get the benefits. Parks, trails, and open views create a resort-like feel across the entire city. And that's why buyers are willing to pay more for the lifestyle here. The river also helps with the weather. It cools the air in the summer and makes it more comfortable to spend time outside year-round. That makes a big difference when you live here. Waterfront access is a big deal, but wait until you see what's coming next. There's a neighborhood in Alexandria that gives you a similar lifestyle for a price that might surprise you. Now let's look into 3 neighborhoods that offer strong alternatives to Old Town. Each one has its own style and value that a lot of buyers miss. They all have median home prices over $800,000, but they give you very different ways to live. First up is Delray. This place has that classic Main Street feel right along Mount Vernon Avenue. Every Saturday, you've got the farmers market bringing neighbors together, and the Art on the Avenue Festival, that one really shows off the small town charm. People come in from all over to be a part of it. Homes in Delray are listed at a median price of around $810,000 as of June 2025. The area is walkable and full of locally owned shops and restaurants. Evening Star Cafe has been a go-to since 1997, serving Southern-style food and even has its own wine shop next door. Delray Cafe is a family-run French spot in a converted house offering organic, locally sourced meals. What makes Delray stand out is how it mixes this small-town feeling with great access to the city. We'll get into the transportation piece in a minute, but just think, you get that cozy neighborhood energy and still be in downtown DC in under 20 minutes. Mount Vernon Avenue has everything close by. You've got coffee shops, restaurants, small stores, and services that make the neighborhood feel self-contained. You don't need to drive much. Next is Rosemont. It's Alexandria's first planned suburb, built between 1908 and 1914. It's listed on the National Register of Historic Places, which protects its unique homes. You'll see American craftsmen, arts and crafts, and colonial revival styles throughout the neighborhood. Median sale prices here are over $1.2 million, with an 11% jump from last year. The consistent architecture in Rosemont creates a clean, classic look that helps keep property values high. Tree-lined streets, front porches, and mature landscaping give the area a true suburban feel while still letting you walk the shops and the metro. The historic status also keeps the neighborhood safe from changes that don't fit the area. Then there's Northridge. It's more suburban and set in a hilly part of town. Most homes here are going for somewhere around $830,000. It's a quieter option, but still close to everything. You get more space and more privacy, and for people working at the Pentagon or HQ2 in Arlington, it's an easy commute. The hills in Northridge give you better views and a little more breathing room. You'll find bigger lots and older trees, which make the area feel a bit more peaceful. But you're still close to Alexandria's shops, culture, and transit. That mix of quiet and connected is why so many families look here when they want room to grow without giving up city perks. Each of these neighborhoods fits different needs and lifestyles. Delray is great if you want walkability and local charm. Rosemont is ideal if you love history and want that classic suburban feel. And Northridge is the spot for people who want space, privacy, and easy access to work still. But there's one thing that ties them all together, and it's probably not what you're expecting. What really makes these neighborhoods work is something most suburbs can only wish for. Here's the piece that ties Alexandria together. It's a big reason why daily life here just works better than most suburbs. Alexandria has 5 metro stations. That's more than some full counties in the DC area. King Street, Old Town, Braddock Road, Eisenhower Avenue, Van Dorn Street, and Potomac Yard give residents real options. A lot of people live here completely car-free. Getting to downtown DC takes just 12 to 20 minutes by metro. The yellow and blue lines run straight into the city. There's no transfer needed. And King Street, Old Town also connects to Amtrak and the Virginia Railway Express. That makes Alexandria a major hub for travel across the region. If you'd rather bike, the Mount Vernon Trail takes you all the way into DC in about 30 minutes. The free King Street trolley makes it easy to get from the metro to the waterfront. And the Dash bus system covers everything in between. So even if you don't live right near a metro stop, you still got reliable ways to get around. Alexandria is also the 3rd most walkable city in Virginia. That means a lot of people can get through their daily routines without ever getting into a car. The mix of trains, buses, and trolleys in walkable neighborhoods makes life here more flexible and usually less expensive. This strong transportation setup is part of why so many companies are here too. Employers know that people can get to work easily. That helps keep jobs in the area and supports the local economy. You'll find a mix of government contractors, law firms, tech companies, and consultants all taking advantage of how connected the city is. And you want to keep this in mind when we're talking about housing demand in just a bit. Homes near metro stops, they don't just sell faster, they also tend to hold value better during tough economic times. Alexandria's transportation network also draws international buyers. People who work in diplomacy or global business need quick access to DC, the airports, and regional cities. Alexandria checks all those boxes better than most suburbs. So yeah, it's easy to get around here, but transportation is only part of the story. What really makes people stay are the day-to-day lifestyle perks that come with living in Alexandria. And we're about to get into those next. So what does daily life in Alexandria really feel like? Beyond the beautiful homes and the easy commutes, this is where the city stands out. Its culture and community traditions create a way of life that's hard to find anywhere else in the greater DC area. Alexandria is home to the oldest farmers market in the country. It's been running since 1753. George Washington even sent produce from Mount Vernon to sell there. That same Old Town farmers market still happens every weekend in Market Square. You're not just walking through history, you're living it. You'll find more farmers markets across the city, including Delray, West End, and Old Town North. They're all about more than just fresh food. They're places where neighbors connect, something you just don't get in a strip mall parking lot. And you want to keep this in mind when we talk about buyer types later. These kinds of cultural experiences are a big reason certain people are drawn to Alexandria. It's something newer suburbs can't really offer. Gatsby's Tavern is another piece of that story. It's been open since 1792 and it still serves food in the original City Tavern dining room. George Washington, John Adams, and Thomas Jefferson all ate there. You can have dinner where the founding fathers once planned the future of the country. King Street is Alexandria's shopping hub, but it's not your typical row of chain stores. You've got small local boutiques that you won't find in suburban malls. And then there's the Torpedo Factory Art Center. It's a mix of local artists, events, and one-of-a-kind shops. Community festivals like Art on the Avenue and First Thursdays keep the streets lively and neighbors connected. But it goes beyond festivals. People here really show up. You'll find locals involved in community gardens, historic preservation, civic groups, and neighborhood associations. Things like this didn't come from a builder's checklist. They grew from the people who live here. The food scene is just as strong. You've got casual spots, family-run favorites, and high-end restaurants that rival what you'll find in DC. There's something here for every taste and every budget. And let's not forget the waterfront. Sitting down to eat while watching the boats in the Potomac, again, that's the kind of moment that stays with you. Chain restaurants in the suburbs, they just don't compare. The mix of great food, water views, and historic charm makes dining in Alexandria feel special. Now, this kind of lifestyle sounds like it costs a fortune, and sometimes it does, but here's what it actually takes to live here and why it might be more within reach than you think. Time to break down what homes actually cost in Alexandria and what that means for your budget. Once you see how prices vary by neighborhood, it's easier to spot where the real value is. As of July 2025, the median home value in all of Alexandria is just over $670,000. And based on June data, most listings fall between $698,000 and $700,000. That's actually pretty competitive for the DC area. Old Town tops the list with homes listed around $1.4 million. Rosemont comes in next with prices closer to $1.2 million, and over in Northridge is just above $840,000. And in Delray, homes average around $810,000. Those price differences make sense when you look at what each area offers, things like lifestyle, space, and location. This will be important later when we get into which buyers each area fits best. Some neighborhoods just line up better with certain lifestyles and careers, and for the right person, that higher price is worth it. And homes here tend to move fast, usually within 40 days. Demand is strong across the entire city. Prices have gone up by almost 2% in the past year. That's steady growth without risky spikes. There's also more inventory now than before, which means buyers have better choices. When you stack Alexandria up against other top DC suburbs, the value starts to show. Places like McLean and Bethesda usually have higher prices, but they don't offer Alexandria's mix of charm, walkability, and access. Arlington has metro styles, but it's not the same neighborhood feel or the historic appeal. Price per square foot also paints a good picture. Alexandria holds its own with other high demand areas. What you're paying for here isn't just the house, but the location, the quality of life, and the long-term value. From an investment angle, Alexandria holds up very well. Now, the big question, is it worth it? And even more important, who is Alexandria really right for? After working with hundreds of buyers here, I can tell you exactly who this city fits best. Let's get into it. So here's the big question, who's Alexandria really for? After more than 10 years helping buyers here, I can tell you exactly who does well in the city and who might be better off looking somewhere else. It's a great fit for people who work in government, diplomacy, or federal contracting. If you want that historic charm with a quick trip into DC, this place checks all those boxes. The short commutes and walkable neighborhoods really matter for this crowd. It also works well for higher earning professionals like tech execs making $200,000 or more. If walkability, good food, and culture matter to you, Alexandria delivers every time. You get city perks without the packed-in feel of living downtown. Empty nesters love it too. Condos in Old Town or Del Rey offer low-maintenance living in areas that are full of life. Between the farmers markets, the events, and the walkable blocks, the city gives you a full lifestyle without feeling like a retirement town. Families who want a strong community feel right at home here. There are youth programs, weekend events, and schools that are surrounded by history. It's a very different feel from the newer suburbs, and some parents really value that. History lovers are all in on Alexandria. You're walking the same exact streets as George Washington. You can eat in the taverns where the founding fathers met. The traditions here are real and you get to be part of them. And if you're thinking long-term investment, Alexandria's a solid bet. Tight supply, good infrastructure, and strong job stability help protect the values here. The historic zoning keeps overdevelopment in check and that scarcity really matters. That said, it's not for everyone. If you're a first-time buyer with a budget under $600,000, you'll likely find better options in Arlington or Fairfax. The same goes for families that need big yards or more space. Loudoun or farther out in Fairfax might work better. If you're really focused on brand new construction, Alexandria, it may not be your match. There's a few communities in the works, but there's more new construction elsewhere. The charm here comes from the history and that limits how much new building can happen. Also, if you work in Bethesda, Rockville, or way out in the Virginia suburbs, the commute from here might not make sense. But if you're looking for a place that mixes history, location, and modern convenience, this is it. Alexandria offers things that other suburbs just cannot copy. The neighborhoods feel connected, the culture's alive, and the city is built to last. Alexandria mixes something pretty rare in today's market. You got 275 years of American history and modern convenience all in one place. You can walk on cobblestone streets that George Washington once used and hop on the metro and get to work in 15 minutes. There are 5 metro stations, 18 miles of riverfront trails, and some of the best food and coffee spots in the entire region. You put it all together and you get a lifestyle that most suburbs just cannot offer. If you're thinking about moving to Alexandria or anywhere else around greater DC, I'd love to help. Whether you're relocating or just ready for a change, send me an email at rickhartunian@gmail.com and we'll build a game plan that's actually based on your needs. The market's moving fast right now. Having someone who knows the area block by block can make all the difference. Also, if you're stuck between Alexandria and Arlington, and trust me, a lot of greater DC buyers are, this next video will help you a lot. Click the one right here on your screen where I break down how these two top areas really compare. You'll see how they're different in lifestyle, commute times, and what your money actually gets you. So go ahead and watch that video now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you there.